Let's talk about a puzzle that leaders everywhere are facing right now. The pressure is on to accelerate performance, innovate faster, and do more than ever before, but with fewer and fewer resources. How's that even supposed to work? Well, today we're going to explore a new blueprint for leadership that offers a really powerful and maybe even surprising solution.
And the thinking behind this comes from the fantastic work of Dr. Kartikeya Bolar. He's a professor of information systems and analytics at the AI Management Institute in Manipal, and his research gives us this really compelling look into what the future of management is all about.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into this paradox that has so many leaders in a tough spot. Then, we'll introduce the AI-Augmented solution and see how it actually makes human wisdom even more powerful. And finally, we'll lay out a whole new blueprint for what it means to be a leader today.
Okay, so let's jump right in with the core problem, this fundamental challenge that we're calling the leadership paradox.
The big issue, especially if you look at the world of management education, is this classic paradox. Institutions are constantly being pushed to do more, to achieve more, to innovate faster, all while they're being told to operate with less. We're talking less budget, less staff, you name it.
And you can see how intense this pressure is. On one side, you have these rising expectations, constantly evolving accreditation rules, the need for rapid digital transformation, and just fierce competition. And on the other side, shrinking resources. Budgets are tighter, teams are leaner, and the tools are limited. It's a total squeeze play.
And this is exactly where the old playbook just falls apart. Traditional leadership, the kind that relies on one person's gut feeling or their top-down authority, it just can't keep pace in an environment this complex. Leaders get disconnected from what's really happening on the ground. With overburdened faculty and stretched-thin staff, the strategy and the actual ability to get it done, they just don't match up.
But all that pressure is precisely what opens the door for something new. That brings us to our second section, the AI-Augmented Solution. And this isn't just about throwing some new tech at the problem. It's about a whole new way to think about leading.
So what in the world is AI-Augmented Leadership? Well, at its heart, it's a huge shift. It moves leadership away from being about one person's personality or their charisma and moves it towards making decisions that are driven by actual intelligence, by data, by a clear view of the entire system.
Let's break down how this actually works. First, AI gives you what's called cognitive expansion. It crunches tons of data to show leaders what's really going on, not just what they think is going on. Second, it amplifies communication, helping create a clear, unified message. Third, and this one is so important, it aligns strategy with capacity. It shows you the true bandwidth of your team. And finally, it redistributes the load, taking over routine tasks to free up people for the work that truly requires a human touch.
Okay, but I know what you might be thinking. Doesn't this just mean AI is taking over? Well, our third section shows why the exact opposite is true. This is all about human wisdom, amplified.
There's a quote from the source material that just hits the nail on the head. AI does not replace leaders, it elevates their ability to think, act, and support others. See, it's not about outsourcing your job as a leader, it's about giving it a massive upgrade.
So here's the really crucial part. When you let AI handle the mind-boggling complexity of data and administrative grunt work, leaders are suddenly freed up. They get back their time and, just as importantly, their mental energy to focus on the things only a human can do. Things like actually listening to faculty and students, understanding the day-to-day reality of their teams, and building a culture where people can thrive.
What this does is create a whole new ideal for what a leader can be, defined by a term Dr. Bolar uses, integrative intelligence. This is so much more than just using a new tool. It's the skill of blending human wisdom, things like empathy, context, intuition, with the pure analytical power of a machine. It means a leader can understand the data and the people behind that data. That fusion, that's the future.
Which leads us perfectly into our final section, a new blueprint for leaders. Because you see, this isn't just about running a school more efficiently. It's about fundamentally changing how we prepare the next generation of leaders.
I mean, think about it for a second. How can a business school teach students about digital transformation and data-driven strategy if it isn't living and breathing those principles itself? It's about walking the talk. They have to model the very future they claim to be preparing their students for.
And when that happens, the lessons for students are just profound. They learn firsthand that a big, flashy strategy is totally useless if you don't have the capacity to actually pull it off. They see that systems thinking isn't just a buzzword, it's how you make things work in the real world. They learn that people are the true engine of any organization. And most of all, they see a kind of leadership that is both incredibly smart about data and deeply human.
So when you put all the pieces together, the conclusion is crystal clear. Adopting AI-augmented leadership isn't just some cool tech trend to follow. For any organization that wants to survive and actually thrive in this new era, it's an absolute strategic necessity. It's about building businesses that are more agile, more innovative, and way more resilient.
And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. The future of leadership isn't some battle between humans and machines, it's a partnership. So the real question isn't whether AI will change leadership. That's already happening. The real question is, how are we going to use this incredible power to become more effective, more insightful, and ultimately even more human?